begin our meeting, please? I was concerned everybody would forget where we were meeting. This is great. Okay. Call to order, please. If you have not already reviewed the agenda and the minutes from the previous meeting, which was back in December, please review those and see if you spot any problems or...
Move we approve.
Do I hear a second? I hear a second. Is that from John? John Francis? Thank you. To approve.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee members. We haven't met for 2 months, so we have a few projects for you to consider. And I appreciate your cooperation and also collaboration with the city. The first request is an allocation of $50,000. We have a listed park project in the 2007 bond, which is Memorial Park. It's at 3600 North Classen Boulevard in Ward 2. Construction started in January 2014, and we are about to finish that next month. We are needing $50,000 to finish the project. The project is basically to improve the parkland and recreational facilities, so there's several amenities being done in this park, which is a well-known historic park in Oklahoma City. We have added ADA accessibilities as far as the walking trails. Also, the playground equipment is also ADA compliant. We also have a running track, a fountain plaza area, and also the new parking lot off of Northwest 36th will provide a clear gateway into the park. So it enhances the park along with some other amenities such as new picnic areas, also a great lawn, renovated tennis and basketball courts, shelters, lighting, benches, landscaping, and also the reforestation or vegetation of the grounds. The cost of this project, by the time it be done, the construction estimate overall is a little bit over $2 million. In the proposition, we had $2.156 million. The project was designed in-house by our park staff, and they did a very tremendous, great job, and I appreciate their design on this project. I think it has turned out to be a very nice park. With that, be able to answer any question you may have.
I'd just like to say I live within walking distance to that park, and it is a heavily utilized park, and parking has been a big issue over there, particularly when there are soccer games going on. And so, of course, I endorse this and enthusiastically support it, but I just want to thank you and Doug and the Parks Department for just turning that park into the next stage of development that's just going to be really beneficial. And I think there are a lot of folks who actually come to that park that are not just in the neighborhood. It seems like it's more of a regional park sometimes with all the folks there. So just want to say it's a great project, and thank you for all the work.
Sure.
I move the item.
Second.
Okay, the item B. Sorry for getting ahead of myself here. Item 3B. This is a street widening project on South Bryant Avenue between I-240 and Southeast 89th Street. This is a listed 2007 bond project to be widened from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. The limits of this start just at the south frontage road of I-240 and goes south past Southeast 89th Street. Southeast 89th Street will be improved. It won't be signalized, but it will be improved about 300 feet each side, east and west, and also will taper to 2-lane existing about 300 feet south of the 89th intersection. We are short on the construction funding for these. We are looking to bid this later on this month, and also awarding it for construction next month in May. And the construction will start sometimes in summer, early summer of this year, and probably will finish late summer of next year, 2016. One of the reasons for, there's several reasons for the escalated cost on this project. One is the asphalt cost and also the oil prices that have fluctuated so much that our engineers, usually conservatively estimated, because we don't know whether it comes in at $50 a ton or $100 a ton. And we have had fluctuations in the past years when the oil prices went up as much as $150 a barrel, and now it's down to 50. So we have to see what contractors will bid, but to make sure, that's one of the reasons. Another reason is we are leaving this road open during construction, so we have to provide a detour by widening a temporary lanes on the side so they can construct it. The cost of that is roughly, is between $250,000 to $300,000 or so. The big ticket item on this project is the drainage and storm sewer improvement. This is a very flat area as far as topography goes. It's, very flat, so we have to raise the road, provide crossroad culverts, provide storm sewer systems so we can manage the storm water. That itself is estimated about $900,000 for this job. Usually a widening project normally would be half as much money to be spent. Another item is this is more in a rural area of the city, and to fix that to standards, vertical curvature and elevations and sight distance and grading requires a little bit more earthwork, more grading. So that's, on this project, is about $250,000. So as you see, all that combination making us short on the funds. So we are asking $1.28 million in unlisted street funds to be covered for the construction shortfall. If the bids come lower, this amount may not be as much as we used. So if it's not used, then it will be returned to the unlisted account after the project is completed. So, but to make sure we can award the project, we are requesting that amount today. Any questions? Yes. Yes. Well, sometimes, yes, sometimes the contract, that there is a lag between when the oil prices come down and when the contractors see the savings that they would. So it could be going, lower than what we expect. But we have had some resurfacing projects lately. Those are just resurfacing, not widening like this project. We had as much as $65 to $70 a ton. So if that's the case, we'd be, in better shape. But if it's 80, 90 higher, well, that's different. Yes. Can you flip that over, please? It may be just a graphic. We are staying on the alignment. So that's a straight tangent location. So that could be just a graphic when we overlay the line. It kind of shows a little bit off.
I move we approve the item.
Second.
Thank you. Item 3C, we are requesting allocation of $420,000 from the 2007 GO Bond Street Proposition Unlisted Funds. This to be used on Northeast 50th Street from Westminster Road to Hiawassee Road. That's a 2-mile stretch in Ward number 7. This is really needing a resurfacing. The pavement is in bad shape. Per state statute, we can, agree, execute an agreement with Oklahoma County. We pay for the material cost. They will do the labor, equipment, and also the any management necessary to resurface this road. To just give you an idea, if we were going to do this by contract, it would be close to $1 million for 2 miles. So we're getting 2 miles for a price of 1 mile, which is pretty good. The estimate from Oklahoma County for their labor, equipment, and admin is close to about $80,000. So a combined $500,000 joint venture is a very good price to go forward. As far as the duration of construction, it could be 3 weeks for each mile. Usually on this one, they have to do some grading. There's some drainage issues to make sure that the road drains properly. So to prepare the grading and the road probably takes a week for them to do the surface treatment and readiness for asphalt. That's another week. And another week for actually paving and then striping it. Of course, this is all weather dependent, so if it's very rainy season, that may take a little bit more time. But if it's during the dry season, which will be soon in this summer, we expect that to be done within 6 weeks or plus minus for the 2 miles to be done. I can accommodate any questions you may have. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Clinton Putman, and I was recently provided the opportunity to assume the responsibilities as Secretary of the Committee. And I certainly look forward to serving all of you and available to you anytime for any questions or concerns you may have. You may call me at the office. The Bond Executive Summary Report before you was compiled as of March 17, 2015. In Box 1, the first section is the GO Bond contract awards. Month of March, we awarded $3.3 million. Year to date, we're at $27.9 million. The amounts were advertised but not yet awarded. As of March 17th, we expected to have $2.3 million in March. We expect $4.4 million to be awarded in April, with a total of $6.8 million. Our GO bond expenditures to date, month of March, were $3.4 as of the 17th, and year-to-date we're $43.8 million. In the top right corner in box 2, that is where we indicate how much we met the 85% expenditure requirement. For the 2013 bond sale year, we are at 53%. Needed to expend to meet the 85%, we still need $20.2 million. For the 2014, we're at 8%, and we still need $7.1 million to meet the 85 expected percent. And that's all I have. If there are any questions or concerns. Questions?
Is there any new business?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have I don't remember how long ago it might have been. I know I missed the last board meeting because of some health reasons, but, and I don't know who I should address this to, maybe Mr. Winger, I'm not sure. But some of you will remember that a year or so ago, this body passed a resolution that went to council, and the council passed a resolution that asked that whenever there was a street project being done and a bus stop exists, some of you have heard this before, I know, a bus stop was on the route that was being improved, that I think it's called Inborg now, used to be COPTA, would do an evaluation to determine if it might be appropriate to put in a sheltered bus stop. By that I mean appropriate, that basically means if the utilization of patrons using the bus is enough, that would warrant such a decision. And I believe I had asked some time ago for kind of an update on that. Eric's getting up, Mr. Winger's getting up, but I'm wondering if, not today, but if in the next month or two, perhaps a report could be compiled that would kind of give us a sense of how many of those reviews were done and if any were warranted. I believe I had heard one was warranted on 23rd and Walker, around there, but I'm hoping that we could get a sense of how many reviews were done and where we are with that.
We'll be happy to do that. Eric Winger, Public Works Director. We actually, after we received the request and the council passed the resolution last year, we are meeting on every single project now between Public Works and COPTA with staff, and we evaluate each of our projects now to see what bus stops can be sheltered and which ones are not. As you may have not already known, but there are changes in the bus route system that are being incorporated. So not every city street actually has a bus route that's on it, but the ones that do, we do coordinate. Some have existing shelters, and we're maintaining those, but there has been one installed to date. But we're getting ready to go out in this next year with this next bond sale that will occur in May, and that's where we actually initiate that next round of projects. And so as we get ready for that next round of projects, you can expect to see those numbers start to climb. Now, there's a difference, too, with resurfacing and widening. Obviously, on the resurfacing roads, there's less concrete work and less opportunity to actually go behind the curb. A lot of those are just existing curbs, and we're resurfacing either the asphalt or the concrete. So the ones that we're really focused on are the widenings, like what you saw today on Bryant Avenue. And so when we are moving those curbs and adjusting those bus stops to make them ADA compliant with shelters, we'll be happy to bring those reports forward to you.
So just on the side, I didn't recall that. So just on the widening project, I think we answered that because of the carrying of this curve in the street. Makes sense to do that.
It is, and there are fewer opportunities on the resurfacing, although there are some. There is sidewalk that's being added to the resurfacing projects in most of the locations, but of course those have to apply to arterial routes. There's very few bus stops in our residential resurfacing, so kind of classifying those into two different categories too. It would be the arterial resurfacing that you'd see the opportunity for bus shelter possibilities, but obviously you're going to see a lot of residential resurfacing in Oklahoma City as well, and even those are bond funded and include sidewalks, we most likely won't be providing shelters on those.
So there hasn't been one approved?
I think we've had one to date, and that's just since the resolution was passed. There just hasn't been any newer projects initiated since then, but I would expect more to come.
So moved.